Welcome back to another episode of the Dynasty Dingers podcast. Today is Thursday, August 28th. Doc, what's going on, dude? Different state, same do.
Different state geographically, same state of mind. Dumb.
I would give you more credit than that.
I'm drinking Oktoberfest. This looks like a nice beer. Have you seen this before?
That looks very Minnesota.
It said, Murtzen style lager, Lupulin Brewing Company from Big Lake, Minnesota. Never heard of her. That's why I got it.
How is it?
I haven't had any of it yet.
We're starting off like a bats and stats right now. I kind of like it.
Yeah, so that beer. Let's go into hipster mode. Gotta get your glasses on my face. That's why you gotta watch the episode, folks. I'm full of visual observance. That is a good beer. It's I'm not good at this.
So I'm gonna jump in and pivot this and go immediately a different direction here. And the conversation that I want to start with is based off the episode of the Athletics Rates and Barrels this week. I found out how they do thoracic outlet surgery. Do you know of the surgery itself and how they perform it?
I believe they go to a place called Thoracic Park, and there's just like a
Nice.
bunch of dinosaurs that try to
Just
get you.
gnaw at the bone. I
Yeah.
think that's close. So a number of pitchers have had it. The Dark Knight, formerly of the Mets, was the big one to have thoracic outlet. Strasburg has had it. Woodruff, I want to say, has had it, but Zach Wheeler.
If we have some younger listeners here, that was Matt Harvey you're talking about, right?
That's right. That's right. Which is funny that his name was Harvey because he was known as the Dark Knight, but that's technically Two-Face's name. I don't know that I ever put two and two together when thinking about this. Anyways, Zach Wheeler has to have thoracic outlet surgery. And Eno Saris on this podcast was expressing how he had a conversation formerly with a pitcher who's had the surgery. And that player had told him what they do is they cut you open and they take a wrench and they physically have to break the rib. It's so strong. And I was mortified. The reason I want to bring this up is just because you and I have had conversations before about how we don't know exactly what a player is going through. And I wanted to just present it to you with the idea of can you imagine being a professional and having someone to go into your body with a wrench and break a bone just so that you can go back to playing? Isn't that just ridiculous?
Yeah, one thing, mortified, it means the definition says it caused someone to feel embarrassed, ashamed, or humiliated. So that's the wrong.
So not the right mortified.
People use that word wrong a lot.
You're right.
Yeah, they say it the way you say it. So
I wonder why it transferred into conversation like that.
Because mort sounds like it's more, like dead. It sounds like something like that's like this. It's just it's to do with death. It sounds like, but the word doesn't mean anything like that. Anyway,
word of the day, everyone. Mortified. We've been using it incorrectly.
Coming in hot. So how does that make me feel? It reminds me of this urban legend when I was a kid. Maybe I'm not sure if this translated from Canada to other places in the world, but it was like common knowledge that I'm not talking about the Marilyn Manson rib thing. If anyone thought I was going there, you know what I'm talking about.
I saw a meme the other day that was like, how incredible is it that mankind was able to pass a rumor from middle school to middle school with no internet connection? And it was the
international. And so, but that wasn't the one. I was actually going to bring up the Yao Ming thing. Maybe, I'm not sure if you got this one. So people were saying that Yao Ming actually had his legs broken and extenders put in there so he could be taller. And that's why I parroted that for years. Like to this day, I'm still saying it on this podcast. It makes sense. He got his legs hurt all the time over and over again. So maybe he was like,
I want to say I did hear that, but it wasn't anywhere close to the Marilyn Manson one, which is, again, pop culture, iconic rumor that went around.
I hope I answered your question.
You did. But yeah, anyone that has interest, go and check out the Athletics podcast a few days ago. It was an incredible. It made me.
So Wheeler's not coming back. He was already thinking about retiring. What does this mean?
So it was Alex Cobb was the player that Eno was referencing the conversation with, and Cobb said to him when he woke up from surgery. Now, mind you, I'm coming from my own shoulder surgery, nowhere near as severe. But when I woke up, it didn't hurt. It throbbed a little bit, but I never had to take painkillers. It wasn't a thing where I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like someone stabbed me. Not enough pain. Maybe slugged me, got in a car accident, maybe a little bit. Alex Cobb's reference to Eno was, "I felt like someone shot me with a shotgun, and I was on pain meds." That's incredible. I mean, that's the magnitude of this surgery and what these players have to come back from. And, we give Matt Harvey a lot of grief, at least the New York media and fan base did. Strasburg, right, has this big contract. Oh, he can't recover. And it's like, well, they went through a life-changing surgery. I don't know what to expect from Wheeler. I don't know if he ever comes back.
Well, I mean, he said he was going to retire after the 2027 season.
Yeah, he's under contract until the 2027
his
end.
head's already kind of not in the game. Maybe he doesn't want to go out like this, or maybe he's like, it's a sign from God. Like, it's okay. Go spend time with your family.
Well, and then you put into the equation, it's similar situation to Strasburg where, right, it's I'm sure I'm terming this incorrectly, but it's probably comparable to an on-the-job worker comp injury. So if you can't come back, the Philadelphia Phillies, I would imagine, are still on the hook for your 2026-2027 season. You might as well just hang it up, or you can come to an agreement, a buyout situation. Like, it'll be interesting, but I think the days of Zach Wheeler being a top 5, top 3 fantasy starting pitcher are over. I just can't imagine him coming back from this and ever returning to the form that we saw him over the last 2, 3, 4 years.
And it's crazy. It's a crazy ride for him because I actually rostered him and Matt Harvey as my fantasy aces of the future at one point in my home league. And Matt Harvey didn't work out. And Zach Wheeler, I don't know if y'all are young enough or old enough, I should say, or experienced enough in the baseball world to remember Zach Wheeler had the TJ pretty early on. Was it 1 or 2? I don't know, but he was looking like he was going to be a Band-Aid. I think it was in a time like in the mid to late 2010s where we still weren't sure like how you bounce back from TJs. Because there wasn't a good track record at that time. And I was nervous with him. And he started showing life finally after like a couple of years. It was a rocky road back for him. And he was still he was young. He was younger. He's like mid-20s at the time, I think, mid to late 20s. And I was like, he started showing promise. He had that comeback season with like a 3.4 ERA or something. And I sold high, quote unquote. And it turns out he actually was stable for another 6 years. But, now we're at a point where if he was one of these guys like Bryce Harper saying, I'm going to play deep into my 40s, I'm never stopping. That doesn't sound like that's who Zach Wheeler is.
I'm doing a little research right now because Zach Wheeler was also the player that was attached to the trade to Milwaukee. If you remember when Wilmer Flores was crying, this was, noteworthy in the, like you said, the middle 20 teens here.
It was 2015. Wow, he absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, so had March 2015 was the I'm trying to find trade Wheeler to the Brewers was the actual injury, missed all of 2015, most of 2016. So let's see here.
No, he missed all of 2016 as well.
He missed all of 2016.
2 years. Okay. Came back at 27, bad. And I remember he was on free agents in that league, free agency, waiting around in the free agent pool. And then 2018 came back at 331, and then 2019 396. It's like, who is this guy? It wasn't until the next season where he decided he's actually going to be an ace after all. And frankly, that's around the time when we started seeing more of these guys coming back from TJ. And so TJ, apparently we are learning from the sounds of it, it's preferable to thoracic. Doing a lap through Thoracic Park.
So it would have been Carlos Gomez going back to the Mets in that deal from Milwaukee. It was 2015. So the Brewers would have traded for an injured recovering Wheeler at the time, as well as Wilmer Flores, who was 23. Flores crying on the field. There were issues. The trade somehow didn't go through. I'm sure it was a medical situation or something happened. Gomez ends up getting traded then to Houston instead. So just an interesting butterfly effect. And that's kind of actually funny enough. The article I'm reading here on MLB Trade Rumors is the Wilmer Flores Tears butterfly effect. But yeah, I mean, again, like Wheeler, when I look at my fandom, he kind of falls in the middle of my fantasy, career or hobby. And it's kind of odd to see him ending, kind of on the tail end of that career. Verlander was probably there when I started playing, and Verlander's still pitching. So it's unfortunate, but that's the way the game plays. And I don't know that I have more comments on that.
I had Ken Griffey Jr. and Sammy Sosa and Pedro Martinez on a roster when I started playing, folks.
See, I wish I played when Bonds was
I
in
think
that
he was
group.
kicking around. I want to say I had him for one season. My first season, I had Bonds in
Okay.
2005.
Yeah, so you caught the tail end of Griffey and Sosa.
Oh, this one. There's a reason I had them all.
The Orioles version of Sammy Sosa.
I won in 2006. I didn't know anything about ball. I was just like, yeah, these guys are all stars.
Before we break into the actual topics of our conversation today, Jacob Wilson faced Charlie Morton this week. So the A's were playing Detroit, and it was a really cool reference that Morton is one of the players that had crossover with Wilson's father.
Wow.
And I just thought that was fun, right? You don't oftentimes see that. You got to see it from a Wiley vet, a Morton or a Verlander, and then you got to see the lineage from father to son. But that was kind of cool.
Dude, you're holding your microphone today.
Yeah, dude, our apartment's still a mess. Like,
okay.
I'm not even going to show you. I'm sitting in front of my bed in the middle of the room. I can see
you have like a blurry background. It's a weird fever dream kind of situation.
Yeah, this is from my like professional career. The nice blur of the background. You can kind of be anywhere you want, and people won't judge you. It's fantastic. It's a nice little touch.
Judging you anyway, though. Actually, I'm judging you because of it. All right, baseball fans, we're gonna talk baseball soon.
We've crossed the 10-minute mark, everyone. Time for real baseball conversation. So, Doc, you sent me a number of names and just generalized topics that we could talk about today. I've kind of formed it in a fun way for us to actually dive into some of these names. So we have 3 topics today we're going to talk about, one being league winners. That'll kick us off on baseball talk. Going into the second segment, which is 2026, who would you rather have? And then finally, we're going to wrap it up with a little minor league baseball talk and a Joseph Sullivan check-in, which we'll get to later as we burn some of that before we hit record today. So, Doc, let's kick it off with league winners. First name, Mark Vientos has been on an absolute tear. Up and down season with injury, started off really good with the underlying metrics. We've talked about him enough. I want to pass it off to you with the Mark Vientos August into September excitement.
Yeah, Mark Vientos, like, folks, can we not, like, we know they can do it. Savant, you're such a gem. Baseball savant, we love you. Split it up by months. Don't even have to get that much beyond that. I want to just see months. You know what I'm saying?
They still aren't doing that, huh?
As far as I know.
Yeah, it's annoying.
That would be fantastic because I don't know what I'm looking at, right? Like I know his exit velos were like, I think below 90 at one point. Now they're up to 91.5 in a bad year. So that's telling me he's ripping the ball right now because it's up in a hurry. And so I can go to old school, no disrespect, but old school baseball reference. And I like to see their monthly thing. So let's see what his month is. August. Honestly, the OBP, it's the same song and dance as last year in terms of OBP, 329. Like, I don't know if he's ever going to be an on-base machine. It seemed like he was trying to be an on-base machine early on. He was taking more walks than usual. I guess he just can't be that guy because he's batting 297 now. He's trading off, he's not walking. He's not trying to walk as much as far as I'm aware. But yeah, 6 home runs in August, 18 RBI. It's been a rough year, man. And honestly, I've never fully given up on the guy. I've rostered him in plenty of leagues. In shallow leagues, I cut him a while ago. And now I'm like, gosh, I wish I had him back. But you can't hold it. He was really bad, right? Like in June, like he barely played. So that's not a good example. But in April, March, he had 212 BA with a 397 OBP. May, 306 OBP, better average, but a couple of home runs. Then he hit, between June and July, he hit 1 home run. It's like he showed some signs of life, 275 batting average, started creeping up then. And then, now he's looking like what we thought he'd be. So this is someone who maybe we see, down the stretch run. Of course I want him. Because he's got 13 home runs all of a sudden. And I don't think he's going to stop if he stays healthy. Like it's crazy, but he could hit 20. Like he'd have to. What date are we at? We're pretty late, so probably not. But he could hit 18. 17, 18, 19, that kind of area. If he just keeps on crushing baseballs, kind of making up for lost time. But frankly, I'm just happy to see what's happening right now, because it was looking for a second there like we don't know who Mark Vientos is anymore, right? And I think there was a lot of people losing faith. I was offered like not full discounts because gosh, I wanted discounts, but this guy wanted like he wanted me to what do you want? He wanted to give me Quinn Matthews and Mark Vientos, and I gave him Yuri Perez. While Vientos and Matthews are not doing well, I'm like, this is like this is a tricky deal when they're both crushing it, So anyway, that was rough. But Mark Vientos, yeah, great, because going forward, I think we are looking at a 20 plus, probably a 25-ish home run guy from here on out. He's still really young. He's still just 25 years old. Some guys don't debut till 25. It's a situation where I'm hoping people are paying attention to fantasy football and don't bake this into his numbers next year. Because if let's just say he gets hurt tomorrow, I hope it doesn't happen, but if he gets hurt tomorrow, this month gets forgotten kind of quick. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna see the numbers. The numbers would say 13 home runs and cruddy ratios, and he would be forgotten. If he does another 5+ home run month in September and gets near 17, 18, 19 home runs, that might go up a little bit. I still think he'll be at a discount because of how horrible he was. And I'll tell you what, a lot of GMs are going to be avoiding him after wasting high capital. He went very high in drafts this year. He's going to be at a better value next year, no matter what. So I kind of took your question and expanded upon it. So yes, obviously he is a potential league winner right now at third base, especially. And then next year, I'm buying in off seasons for Dynasty. I'm buying Matt. You can buy him maybe in our 30-man. He's still pretty cheap. $5 million, starting to look good again.
Yeah, no, I'm buying him going into 2026. It'll have to be what's the right price. You and I probably won't work out a deal because we view him similarly, right? I think this needs to be a GM in a dynasty league that maybe has a better depth piece or starter at third that you can really attack the Vientos as his depth and really maybe capitalize for your potential starter, your corner infielder or utility spot. But I think Vientos really does transition us into another topic, which is, we talked about Nick Kurtz over the last couple of weeks being the number one. Holy shit, he did it. He just did it. Kyle Schwarber, 4 home runs. Dude, crazy. I think he's up to 9 RBIs tonight. This is wild. Watching it live. Had it on. Just had to interject and interrupt our show here. How great is that for Philly, Doc? 18-4.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for Philly. Who's pitching on the other side tonight?
No, it was Cal Quantrill.
Great.
Who's claimed off waivers.
No, I'm not even trying to listen, dude. You get your home runs. Most people aren't hitting 4 home runs in a game. I would say
crazy.
But I was just having a brain fart. I'm like, I don't think Kirsten Waldrop's playing tonight, but my God, I hope it's not him.
No, it was Waldrop and into some other middle long reliever who gave up 6. I think Waldrop.
Wait, so Waldrop did start tonight?
Sorry. It was Cal Quantrill who gave up 8 or 9 into some bumbling stretch player who gave up 6, and Serio. I don't know who Serio. He's pitching right now for Atlanta. Just gave up the bomb for the 4th home run. All right, back on track here. So we talked about Nick Kurtz being the number one potential dynasty first baseman, right? The reason I wanted to bring in third base here is because we were just talking about Vientos. Junior Caminero, is he number one dynasty third baseman now? Is the question for you.
The question for me, is he the number one?
Yeah, dynasty third base asset.
I don't have any shares of him, so no.
Okay, let's look at this objectively.
Gosh darn it, I hate that. Do our viewers really want objectivity? Do they have to?
39 home runs. He's batting .257. The problem is
that's crazy how low is. I actually didn't know. All jokes aside, I didn't know 299 was his OBP.
Yeah.
How is that?
He attacks.
Okay, so I go on.
I mean, you look at his savant, right? And he actually has the launch angle sweet spot issue that we've so regularly talked about with Wyatt Langford. He's in the 2 percentile, yet somehow is still out here churning out 39 home runs. And it's because his EVs are just off the charts. His bat speed is the best in the league on average. but his walk rate's in the 17th percentile, his chase rate's in the 16th. Like he's an aggressive hitter, right? So I think this is kind of similar to what we saw with Kurtz, which is just big time aggression. Pitchers haven't learned yet really how to make them fail on a regular basis. The average is okay with, a 40 home run hitter. The OBP is just, it's going to kill you.
Yeah. I got a 5-second shout out because I forgot. I love talking contact rates. I will say that on the year, Mark Vientos is actually having his best end zone contact rates despite a credit year. So that's actually another reason to buy him. Junior Caminero, though, Ross Jensen, honestly, because he's not on my teams, I'm gonna admit it. Like I know I've always been like, yeah, he's a stud. Like I never talk bad about Junior. I don't really talk about him because he's just a guy who he's not on my radar as much as some other players. And that's transparency coming from me to you. And also because I have Ross Jensen, who's someone who, because I am occasionally a guy when I have time, I'll post on the Prospects Live account. And I prevent myself from posting Durbin things on there because I don't want to make Reese White mad. But eventually I might have to do it. But because of that, I get notifications from Ross whenever Ross posts. I have it set so I can see all his tweets because he's such a smart guy. And he's the biggest Junior Caminero fan you can think of. And so, yeah, I did not know how bad his OBP is. It does concern me a little bit. Like, genuinely, this is clearly like a guy who I don't think he's going to hit 50 home runs like Ross keeps boasting about. I thought he must have had 45 by now, but I don't think 50 is in the play.
Okay, wait. I just need to cut you off for just a minute.
Okay.
The kid was in his age 21 season. He just turned 22.
Oh, no. I'm about to talk about that.
Okay.
No, this is not like I hate Junior Caminero. This is the whole conversation is that, yeah, he's probably not going to hit 50 this year, but he just turned 22.
Okay.
And as you fast forward in this podcast, you'll hear we're not going to do it. We're not going to do a lot of it, but we're going to do some Joseph Sullivan talk. Might even be a little bit of Brock Wilken, both of whom are older than Junior Caminero.
There you go. Good tee up.
There you go. I'm not straight up, like, as much as I'm joking around here, like, I'm not joking that I don't have shares of him, but I get there's a reason I've never talked bad about him. And also I think everyone else loves him plenty, right? It's just a guy, he kind of like, oh, I don't need to talk about him. Everyone else has it. Okay. It's obvious, incredible power. But yeah, this was like the only hole in me paying attention to him has been, in the past I saw his OBP. I didn't really care because I'm like, it's probably going to go up. It is weird that it is not going higher yet. This is the only the downside of Caminero that I'm going to talk about here. And it's a big one because it's kind of the PCA conversation, right? It's like right now he's swinging like a really hot stick. And like he actually does have a chance. He's almost certainly going to hit 40 home runs as a 22-year-old.
Yeah, he'd have to have an insane September, which isn't outside the realm of possibility coming off his.
He's not. He has to have like a bad September to hit 40, which is still incredible.
Well, no, I mean he's at 39. He's going to hit 40, right? But
that's what I'm saying.
In the conversation of 50,
correct.
He's got to stay hot. Yeah, I mean,
so
could happen.
Yeah. So, but point is, what happens if he hits a cold streak? Does he end with an OBP of like 288 or a 28? Like what? You know what I'm saying? It's like, so this is like again a PCA extremist kind of profile where, listen, 40 to 50 home runs in any format, there's a place for you, but it's like a big difference in his overall value. If throughout his career, which again, his peak probably his peak shouldn't be till like 5 years from now, which is scary. So yeah, I mean, I don't think you're getting a deal anywhere, but buy where you can. OBP leagues versus BA leagues is what I'm getting at. BA leagues, this is like this is your judge, right? This is young judge. That's what it is.
Which would make him. So you're saying in batting average leagues, you're comfortable putting him number one dynasty third base asset. On base percentage leagues, you're not yet there because you need to.
No, I'm actually talking about overall. I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking like overall, he's in like the top 3 dynasty players. Like in a BA, like yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. OBP, it's like that's a huge factor. Like Adolis Garcia, I talk about it every time I bring up OBP guys because Aldolis Garcia in his peak, and he's starting to do well again, but in his real peak, I've rostered him. It's kind of annoying in an OBP league because he brings you down so much. It is the category, right? It does matter. So again, you have like a Maikel Garcia who's like way less sexy. Nobody likes to give him any shine. But I'm telling you right now, in this season, Caminero's ranked. He's not ranked as the top third. He's not in my. I have a league that uses average and OBP. Right now, the top third baseman in order as per our league's format. It's a pretty standard format, but average and OBP. Jose Ramirez, Vladdy, who is going to lose that.
He's a disqualifier, but yeah.
Devers is going to lose that, so you can forget these two. So we have Jose, Machado, Suarez, who, I mean, we basically were looking at a younger with more upside Suarez.
Sure.
Then Caminero.
Okay.
And Jose Ramirez is old, so for dynasty purposes, Caminero is number one, and then you have Maikel Garcia. And on the year overall for all players in this league, 45 Caminero, 48 Maikel, which is interesting. So Maikel's doing 297, 360 OBP. It's an incredible season, right? So kind of interesting, but I think that if Maikel can ever actually he's hitting the ball really hard. But Maikel would have to transform that power to like a 25-ish home run power. And that's not impossible. Like 25 and 30 with those ratios makes him more valuable in that kind of format than Caminero. But I have to say right now, Junior Caminero is the number one dynasty third baseman until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. All right, let's move back into league winners now that I derailed us with this.
I felt like it was like the most like I tried so hard to not say it, and then like eventually I say it. So listen, there's people out there who are probably going to hate me on that one, but here's what it is. I'm giving them some respect.
I'm glad you worked your way to what I think is the reality, which is, you have a 22-year-old now, and we can probably project in his prime. 330, I think, is fair. Like, you would hope that he's going to find a way to have a little more plate discipline, and ultimately pitchers are just going to avoid him too.
Yes,
right? Like
that seems the likely thing. For me.
So if you can get to 330 with a 40 home run pop at 22, projecting into dynasty, which is a 10-year window before he hits 32, that's a damn good player. But I think you bringing up Garcia is a really good point as well, which is there are still guys that aren't the sexy names, even though he's gotten a lot of shine this year, that still hold a lot of value and can be really, really great pieces for your third base aspect there. Let's get into a couple names for the league winners. I'm going to bypass Jacob Marcy. We talked about him a little bit. Jurickson Profar is another name I'm going to bypass, having an incredible August right now. I want to talk about Colson Montgomery a little bit, not because we've had our conversation about trades with him in the past. I just want to really gauge in, hone in on what your thoughts are going into 2026, because the exit velocity and the bat speed is there for Colson Montgomery. He's playing really well, potentially helping people win right now. But what does his 2026 price tag look like, and what are you projecting?
So when it comes to negotiating, like in our Vientos for Colson Montgomery deal, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a crash landing, like really bad 2026. Sell at all costs. Now, Matt, don't listen. So everyone else, I've said that there's a reason I've been trying to buy low on Colson Montgomery, basically all leagues, and have succeeded in other places with more aggressive offers. He's got that same thing going for him as Gunnar Henderson. And I've said it before, and I always said, listen, like I don't actually really expect that outcome. And it's still a lofty outcome. It's not been a full season, right? But we're seeing upside here that actually, like, let's just say he plays like kind of like this for a full season, right? 3/4 of this, 2/3 of this, half of this, like it's a ridiculous pace he's doing right now. We're seeing this extreme athleticism. And when I say he's similar to Gunnar Henderson, I'm not really talking about anything other than the fact that they were multi-sport athletes. And so Colson was a guy who, if you've heard this podcast before, I guess you can fast forward a little bit, but he was really into basketball. curse Indiana and their basketball stubbornness. Listen, y'all aren't gonna listen. Stop watching the movie Hoosiers. I don't know. It's from the '80s. People don't watch those movies anymore, right? I watch really old movies. I watch way older movies than that. Colson Montgomery was a basketball star, and you have to think about this. Like, please, I don't want to let this go because I don't know if everyone's thinking about the human nature, right? We get so caught up in stats. We get so caught up in narratives that we don't think about human beings. And I'd like to think that Matt and I do go into that a bit more on this podcast. What do you do with your day, listener? What do you spend most of your time doing? What do you want to spend most of your time doing? Think about those things, because what you do the most, you're going to incrementally get better at. Of course, the variables of how good are you at one thing or the other will determine how far you go with it. Now, it turns out when you're a stud athlete, you can go really far in basketball and baseball, right? And so Colson just loved basketball. He didn't want to let it go, but he didn't spend as much time as some of these other prospects who, since the age of 10 or earlier, maybe said, all I want to do is baseball every day. I want to breathe baseball. That's just so much more of your life's energy. It's so much more of your focus. It's just so much more. It's just everything. You're putting it all into one thing. So Colson Montgomery, it wasn't shocking to me at all that he was raw. It's not shocking to me, actually, that he's doing this, because it's just a classic, of course it's weird and unpredictable, because he's just going to be developing in spurts and in weird ways, and not like most prospects, to be honest, because I would guess the majority of baseball prospects focused solely on baseball from 14 on at the least. I guess me being generous. So Colson Montgomery coming on late, I think he played it all throughout high school. Multi-sport. I haven't looked that deep into it. Maybe he wasn't sure which way to go. Again, I don't know. I have to assume, because he's such a top prospect in baseball, that he had an idea that's where he'd end up. But this is all to say, look what we're seeing. We're seeing 14 home runs? Yeah, 14 home runs in 152 at-bats. Need I say more? Now, the ratios are a major issue, and you look at a savant, there's regression coming. His bats, but his athleticism is going to be here to stay. You can't teach that. So I'm buying long term, but I'm telling you, someone asked me on X recently, Mark Vientos or Colson Montgomery rest of season, who's going to win me the championship? And I said, that's actually tough. But
yeah,
Colson Montgomery's giving you this hot streak, and just based on his lack of big league experience and his rawness and his profile and the values we've seen before, he's due for a really, really, really cold spell. I thought it was about to happen a week ago. I think I cut him in one redraft league, and I somehow was able to add him right back after he homered again. Now he's homering all the time. It feels good. But point is, he's going to go through a cold snap, and you don't know when that's going to happen. It could happen today, tomorrow. He could start, right? And he doesn't hit a home run rest of season. Straight up, he may not hit a home run for weeks on end, because he's just striking out a bunch, and he's got to figure things out because he's young and raw. Vientos just went through a whole season of being terrible. I actually don't think he's got a whole lot more of terrible left in the tank. So even if he's not this level of superstarish production, I'd much rather bank on the 25-year-old who's already been through it multiple times at the major league level, because he's just going to keep his values are going to theoretically become less deep. But we don't know what a valley for Montgomery looks like. Again, maybe you think I sound crazy. We said the same thing about PCA, and people said, well, it hasn't happened yet. It's because it's just going to happen. Whether it's this season or next, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's really interesting. On top of what you were saying, Montgomery is also out right now, day to day, with a side injury. We haven't been told if it's oblique or if it's lat, but the rotational side piece is concerning, right? And how does he come back from that? Is that lingering the rest of the season? I think you'd have to assume it would, even if he comes back. The Gunnar Henderson, not comp, but comparison, I think is really fun. And this was brought up by a few publications this week, so I don't want to take credit on it. But since you brought it up, I want to just showcase some of the similarities that people may not be aware of. And it's a little unfair because Gunnar came up at a younger age. If you remember Gunnar making his major league appearance, I want to say at 20 or 21. it's not that didn't happen with Colson Montgomery. It could have if he didn't have the back injury, but the reason I'm comparing the two is because if you look at Gunner's minor league strikeout numbers back in 2021, it's a total of 105 games between A, high A, and double A, had a 30.9% strikeout rate. Not good. Let's just go one more season ahead there at AAA, had 65 games, 26.4% K rate. Now, the walk rates were great. The averages were really good. Again, didn't incur a back injury like Montgomery did. So they're not necessarily the same player. And I know that you're not saying that. I'm not saying that. But from a power perspective and a strikeout progression perspective, Montgomery's sitting at 27% on the season right now. Probably, if we can get that down to 25% next year and have him take some steps forward with growth, get that 6.7% walk rate up a little bit, maybe closer to 8.
He walked a lot in the minors.
Walked a lot, right? Up until the 2025 season, that walk rate was fantastic. This year, in all honesty, he had a terrible minor league season. 60 games, 8% walk rate, 33% strikeout rate. It was not good. But we're seeing returns at the major league level that are significantly better than what he did in the minors. The BABIP also in the major leagues is not in his favor. 226 BABIP right now. So, the average isn't necessarily where you want to see it, but you can project based off what he's done, almost always hovering around 300 in the minor leagues with his BABIP because of that hard hit, which we talk about a lot, returning batting average value for him in 2026. He's probably more of a 250 hitter if I had to project in 2026. And that 250, if those walks can go up and the OBP is better than 287, I think we have a really good player here. I think the only concern I have, Doc, is the injuries. The back, the side. Like, does that concern you at all with his long-term outlook?
Listen, man, you had to know I was going to get a beer from the beer fridge. Gosh.
I'm looking at Fangraphs right now.
This guy trying to make me look bad just because I'm being unprofessional. No, man, I think I've said my piece on Colson Montgomery.
Good.
Sell me when he bottoms out in September.
Let's move on. We're at about 40 minutes right now, so I'm going to bypass the rest of the league winners. Those names were just going to be Dylan Beavers, who's had a really great start to his pro career.
Somehow still underrated.
Yeah, dude, he's annoying too. I've been playing against him in a few leagues, and he just hits the ball. What a guy, huh? Who would have thought? And then Ramon Laureano is another one, having an incredible 2025. Really interested to see what his price is in 2026. I'm expecting regression. I mean, he's had a few seasons in his career where he's had really solid numbers, but playing really well for San Diego.
I got to. Sorry, say your Laureano thing, and then I'm going to bring something back.
No, that's all I've got on Laureano. What do you got?
Sorry, buddy. Who do you like play this game with me? Who you got for Dynasty?
Next.
Who you got for Dynasty? Colton Cowser or Dylan Beavers?
Beavers.
Interesting, right?
Who do you got?
Probably Beavers.
Yeah. I'm underwhelmed by Cowser. Like Cowser gives me a lot of Ian Happ vibes. I know that Cowser's not a switch hitter, but like
that's fine.
In deep leagues, Ian Happ has value, but like you won't catch me dead rostering him. A, because he's a Cub and we've been there, but B, because it's just not sexy.
I mean, he could be like a 25 home run bat, which I'm not sure if Beavers ever hits that, to be honest, like maybe once. I don't think Beavers has that kind of crazy power. It's weird. He's 6'5".
I was referring to Cowser. I think Cowser's just like Happ. I think Beavers is better than Happ.
No, I understand. I'm just saying I think that Cowser has more power, but his strikeouts are super concerning. And so he needs to figure that out ASAP because that's like a career-defining thing to figure out for him at this point.
Better Colton Cowser or Montgomery?
Colson Montgomery or Colton Cowser?
It isn't the same name. Never mind. I just got confused with the fact that it's close. We're going to bypass that. We're not going to edit it out, but pretend I edited it out. Okay. Moving on to the fun part of the show. We're going to have to blow through this because we got 2 more segments. So let's try to keep it mindful with how we dive into all these names. First one on the list, 2026. Who would you rather roster in Dynasty? I guess it's just for 2026 though, so forget the Dynasty aspect.
Throw me off!
Samuel Basayo or Drake Baldwin?
Is this okay? But
non-Dynasty only? Scratch the Dynasty. Yes, only 2026.
Gosh, that's a tough one. It's because Dynasty easy Basayo, but Drake Baldwin is actually really good. BA or OBP? or both. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do both.
Okay, I do like that because it's my home league. I'm gonna take a gamble and say Basayo, but Drake feels safer.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I would go Basayo, but Baldwin feels safer. Okay, great job. Speed on that one. Next one's really fun. Ellie De La Cruz or Zach Neto.
I mean, like same. So just a
We're gonna
skip.
go same format all the way through.
It has to be Ellie. Ceiling's too high.
Okay, but Neto highly underrated. If anyone isn't on the Neto train like I am, missed a good amount of time this year. Came back from the labrum. I want to say he's already surpassed 2020. He's not getting enough love in the industry.
You're right. He could hit. He's flashing crazy power that I don't
Crazy.
think I was even
Yeah.
registering.
Yeah, like no one is. Like Zach Neto is not getting the love he deserves, and
He's part of that
trying.
disgusting trade in our league we won't talk about right now, but that's such a ridiculous.
Sal should be spending a week in prison for that one. Yeah, 23-24. He has a chance at a 33 season with a 270 BA. OBP needs to bump up a little bit. He's aggressive, but yeah, what a guy. That's why I put Ellie or him, right? It's a real question. Next one's a little interesting. Kind of back to the beginning conversations we had this season. Torkelson or Soderstrom for 2026?
You're gonna make me do it. I gotta look at my magic number on this one. And okay. I haven't been tracking their contact rates, so I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna go to Fangraphs. It's not cheating because I can still make my estimation. It's actually better for the listener this way because guess what? The listener is going to Fangraphs too. Okay. So
You're
we're you. You can relate to us better when I do things like this. So I've been saying all year that Soderstrom feels like everyone kind of just forgot about, but has had like a solid year, and that is still correct. So he's still like 274, 347 as a 23-year-old with 23 bombs. Like if Nick Kurtz wasn't on this team, people would be still, I think, ranting and raving about how great this is. It's fantastic. And I didn't actually, after all that, I didn't even check his rating.
Kyle Schwarber pops out against the position player.
That's weird.
We don't have history. Honestly, I'm glad we don't have history because I was a little salty that Nick Kurtz hit his 4th home run in that game in Houston against a position player. Because it's kind of like, well, now you're with this elite name, these elite names who have done it, but it's like you just hit it off a catcher.
Guess Tyler Soderstrom's zone contact.
72.4.
Zone?
Zone.
That's really bad. No, it's 89.
That's great. I bet you Torkelson's not as good.
It's actually also good. It's like 86. Actually, Torkelson's always had surprisingly good contact rates. It's very strange.
He just chases ridiculously.
Yeah. Soderstrom's made leaps and bounds. So you're asking me again, every question's for 2026 right now.
Yep.
I'd say Soderstrom just because Torque seems like he's like, this is good. This is great. This is like a redemption tour for the kid.
Okay.
But
another question then.
Having a better year and improving faster.
Then Dynasty, is it the same take? Soderstrom over Torkelson? Okay. So 2026 and long term.
Underrated. I don't even want to like him, but like why does no one care?
I mean, it's the Nick Kurtz deal out there, right? Like Nick Kurtz is just taking the momentum of that team, and Wilson too has surpassed, I think, Soderstrom in the hype of like Dynasty and fantasy.
How many people said he was a lock-in for like 50 home runs this year?
We're not gonna readdress that.
Is that
you? No, absolutely not. I'm not. I may be out here outlandishly giving Ryan Sloan 2 Cy Young awards, but I'm not gonna.
Gotta draw a line somewhere.
Gotta draw a line. Okay, next 2 names. Pitchers. I got some pitchers for you. Ryan Nelson of the Diamondbacks. He's had a pretty solid season, up and down, but overall pretty solid. Or Hurston Waldrop in 2026.
Without even looking at Ryan Nelson's numbers this year, I know he's been better. It's easily Hurston Waldrop for me.
Okay.
So yeah, Nelson has been really good, which is nice. But still not really a strikeout guy.
Okay.
Great, because I tried to. This is good. Like I'm like a jealous ex right now. I'm like, oh no, it's good. I'm glad that he's happy. Because I tried to. I tried the Ryan Nelson experiment repeatedly over the years, and it never worked out.
It's like the Slade Ciccone.
What's that?
It's like the Slade Ciccone experience. You're just waiting for him to finally like have a consistent season.
Yeah. So
Okay,
Nelson.
so
But easy Waldrop. I'm still trying to see the X. Yeah, the xERA for Ryan Nelson is pretty bad. So I think that's
what
probably
is
still
his X?
it's almost 4.
Yeah. I mean, his
And
ERA
so
itself
that's
is
not everything to me.
got
I'm not
close
really
to
one of those
4.
guys, but I just Waldrop's like a former really top prospect in a deep draft class. Like if he wasn't in that class, he probably would have been like a top 3,
Yeah, you put
top
him in
5 pick.
Colton Cowser's
Imagine
draft
he was
class,
like just
right?
like we play. Sorry, what's that?
So if you take Waldrop and you put him in the Colton Cowser draft class of the early
Oh yeah,
2020s,
like
probably
like
top
would we be
5 pick.
talking about him like Kate Anderson or like Jamie Arnold? Like
Mhm,
I mean
mhm.
more than a Jamie Arnold. Yeah, he'd be like he would have been so much more noticeable. And he was. People loved the splitter, and now he's adding. It's not like this. I love to jump on players when they do something noticeably very different. Pitchers when they do something noticeably very different. Like I don't know, add a sinker. That's actually a really good pitch. When you're a sinker, when your main pitch is when your best pitch is a splitter, it's like that plays well, man. Anyways, he's doing a lot of things well right now, and I'm buying Hurston Waldrop as like a really good pitcher. I mean, he's got an SP1 upside. He could
I
be
just looked.
he could be the best pitcher on the. How bad is Spencer Strider doing right now?
The velocity is just not back yet. If he doesn't come back with the velocity in 2026, he's in trouble. He's going to have to reshape himself as a pitcher.
So like, let me ask you a question, Bud. Um, is there a chance that Hurston Waldrop overtakes Spencer Strider? And well, Schwellenbach's almost like the bigger question, but I mean, I think there's a pretty good chance that Hurston Waldrop could end up being the Braves' ace. Do you think that's? I guess I'll be easy. Do you think that's possible?
I think it's possible. Is it likely? It's
What's
not
the
as it's
likelihood?
not
Give
as
me a
much.
percentage of a chance.
I think Schwellenbach can come back from this injury just for the simple fact that the bone itself, from what I've heard, wasn't torn off. The body should recover naturally from this in a lot of ways. The question really then being is, does the repeated adding of velocity impact future injury? So there's some question there, right? But I have faith that he can come back and pitch well in 2026. Strider, I am betting on the fact that he will regain velocity because of his competitive nature and his dedication to working hard. I would say 10%, 15% shot Waldrop is the number 1 in that rotation.
That's a good number. That's a good thing to say.
But it's not impossible. And I think the big thing with Nelson and Waldrop is Waldrop has a plus secondary pitch. Nelson has a good fastball with good shape. That's it. Yeah, and that's why his punch out numbers can vary from 9 to 2 because he doesn't have a secondary offering that's a plus pitch yet. So Nelson will have to take a step forward this offseason in order to be in the same vein as Waldrop, but he has improved. So you would hope there'd be continual progression. Just a check in on the minor league numbers here. Josh Hartle, former Wake Forest, standout and coming into the draft class this past season, 2024's
He was
class.
buzzy
As a top 5 potential top 1 guy. Hartle having a great season after being moved around quite a bit. So really like to see that. Okay, back on track here.
Hold the phone. He's a 20. How old is he and what level is he at? He's 22 and he did all his good work at high A, and he's having
Listen, I agree.
bad results at double A. I could have sworn you
Yeah,
were an
his 2
ageist.
games at Double A were rough.
You're
He
an
did
ageist.
strike out Joseph Sullivan at Double A 3 times, though.
What's that?
I said he did strike out Joseph Sullivan 3 times at Double A.
Are you
I'm completely
stalking
lying.
Joseph
No,
Sullivan?
I'm completely lying. I'm just joking. So we don't get sidetracked here. I'm going to move us along. Next up, would you rather? And this is a good one because it's a lead into what you just asked. And I think this is very obvious. 2026, would you have Strider or would you take Bieber?
She's saying Shane Bieber?
Correct. Not Justin.
Yeah. Making sure you didn't say Beavers. I was like, I don't like doing
That'd be
position
odd.
play.
That'd be odd. Pitcher versus
Yeah.
So Spencer Strider, Shane Bieber, 2026. Who would
You
you
think
rather?
that's obvious, huh? I think that's an unbelievable. Don't underplay that question. That's a friggin' weird question.
It's a really good comparison because we've seen the return after a second TJ from Strider, whereas we've seen one start from Bieber.
I would have to go with Strider.
Ooh, interesting.
Just because Bieber is such a wild card. I think we were so ready to crown Strider. Like at the end of the day, I don't like the fact that like he's a smallish, two pitch guy. I mean, I love Justin Steele, but he's bigger and he's got his crafty lefty behind him. He's not just relying on velo. It's tough for me with Strider. It's like, yeah, you're right. If that magic ticket of velo runs out, it's like we're seeing kind of what happens. But Bieber, like, what is he? Like, I don't know. He's giving a couple 200 inning seasons. But then he just gets hurt all the time. I just don't know what to make of this guy. Again, he could just like start being healthy. He's only 30 years old. He just turned 30.
I think you misrepresented him with the health. I think what the real reality with Bieber was, he was incredible, lost velocity, was good but not great, then got hurt, and now here we are seeing him come out of his Tommy John, which you would have hoped was the reason that he lost velocity.
I mean, he pitched only 96 innings in 2021, so this is not like the first time. Like
that's kind of my representation, though, is I think there and not only I think there was reports of elbow issues, and he got it fixed. But I think we crowned Strider too early, and I think we have poo-pooed Bieber too early as well. I think we're going to see Bieber as a top 10 pitcher over the next 3 or 4 years. I really do. Like, he's a guy that in 2020, now mind you, it's a COVID season and we all want to say it doesn't matter, had incredible numbers. So now that he's healthy, the question should be health, but it's the same question for Strider. It's health, and how do you recover from a serious secondary surgery?
We'll find out.
All right, moving on. This is going to be a fun one for you. Let's see where we are with times. Okay, we got to fly. Lindor or Perdomo in 2026?
I want to say I don't believe in anything Perdomo's doing.
It's crazy.
Let me check his friggin' Savant lately. Let's get this look at. I'm trying to be fast.
The fact that I'm even asking this question isn't.
It's crazy. Yeah, he's such like a crazy build. Like that Savant page is so funny to look at.
We're both. If the listeners can't tell, holy cow! Look at the bottom of that Savant page. Look at the bottom and look at the middle. For those listening, his square up is 94th percentile. Chase 96.
It reminds me of like peak Caleb Durbin when I go to sleep at night.
His average exit velocity is 87.9.
Oh man, that's the Caleb Durbin peak.
Barrels at 23% of the time, or 23rd percentile. Hard hit 12.
I'm still going Lindor, bro.
Yeah, that's
pretty easily.
Perdomo's having a really nice season, but it's all about the approach and the capitalizing when runners are on. I mean, the 391 on base percentage is really, really solid, but 15 home runs, 23 stolen bases.
A lot of what he's doing is backed up by metrics, which is funny, but I don't care. Lindor pretty easily.
Yeah. Okay, next one, back to pitching. Brian Bayo or Trevor Rogers?
Trevor Rogers.
Yeah, he's a stud, huh? Bayo's pitching really well, though. I don't want you to undersell him. Bayo is having the best year of his career and might be turning into what Boston needs as an SP2.
Yeah, it's I'm hard on skinny pitchers, and Rogers has that great build. He's got a lot of things I like, and also, listen, hey, Bayo could end up being one of my guys. Doesn't strike anyone out, but I actually don't aim for that. It's just like I kind of like their hustle and their grind. I usually like it when they're bigger. That's the thing. I want them to be durable workhorses. So, yeah, I'm not sure if Bayo, like, it's risky. Is he going to be a workhorse, or is he just going to be like this like guy who doesn't? I mean, he's actually been like, I think it's a sneaky 157, 162. He's already at 141 innings this year. I love innings pitched. Now he is that guy. He's just smaller, so I'm being a jerk with him. He needs to eat some hamburgers, and I'll if he gets fat. If he gets fat, he's immediately my guy.
But is this a fair question, right? Because Bayo has been very consistent, is having a career year where
this is like a Miles Michaelis versus a better pitcher question. Like Rogers has way more upside.
Michaelis or Skubal? Like, who would you rather have? That's a joke, but Rogers is actually pitching better than Skubal technically this season in the short sample size without the crazy K volume. Okay, Ben Rice, Yankees Ben Rice, or I had the winner of Basayo Baldwin. So we're gonna go Ben Rice or Basayo for 2026.
I mean, my gut says, holy cow. Why is he playing like not as like the Savant page? I didn't realize it was this good.
Yeah, Rice's metrics are sneaky to say the least.
This must be fun, folks. If you watch our podcast, hopefully it's for me, like learning on the podcast. Like,
that's why we do this.
Because here's the thing, like
Ben Rice looks like Babe Ruth. Everything's red. Everything from Woba down to Chase is above 75% with an average exit velo of 93.7, a barrel of 95th percentile, hard hit 98th percentile, chase 92nd percentile.
This is bad. These are bad metrics though, because this means look at his expected BA is 300. His expected Woba, his ex Woba is 421. Yeah, he's the best player in baseball.
Best player in baseball, but hitting 245.
Yeah.
So who are you taking? Do these numbers sway you in the Ben Rice direction?
Gosh, I feel I'm actually mad. I'm mad that
I know harder than it should.
No, I'm mad that the metrics are saying that he's doing that. I could contact rates too. I'm gonna say Basayo because that makes me mad that he's got that good of a Savant page. That's not a rational take, but
no, I
okay, if you want me to have a rational take, I guess we're looking at the very least probably a 30 home run bat one day if they give him playing time.
What is the launch? A great launch.
Everything he does is good right now.
Yeah, I mean, what is his what's his fly ball? Fly ball to ground ball? Let's see. Like I'm trying to find ways like what is he doing?
Why is he not doing well?
Like why is he not
Has anyone done the digging? Our podcast has evidently not done the digging on why he's not actually doing
We're just here to raise the question, folks. You are here to submit the answers. Well, I know 500 of you are at least listening at this point. So, like, somebody.
Look at some splits real quick. Okay, he can't hit lefties at all. So,
so
that's it. So, he's just not playing against lefties very often? I'm not a big Yankees
And when he is, it's dragging his batting average down.
There you go. We just did it. We uncovered we uncovered it, and he had a really good April. Really good right now, and then had a really cruddy in between. That's the thing. I've been freaking busy, and I know he's been crushing it more lately, but that's interesting. So who is he? Right? Was he getting more shots against lefties in the middle there? Here's the thing. I'm actually of the mind. Some people will see this and they'll say, "Oh, he can't hit lefties. I'm out." Depends on your league, right? Kerry Carpenter.
Yeah.
Very often, I think he's kind of working his way out of the platoon, but I don't mind when he is platooned because when he's in there, I'm like, I'm really confident.
If you're in a daily league, you have no problem with these guys, right? Because they're a startable piece. Not a startable piece is a poor way to do it. It is a rotational piece for you, which is how the game is played. Yeah. Okay, last one before we move on to our final segment, which will be shorter. We're close to an hour for everybody. We'll hopefully wrap up in the next 7 minutes. Next one, Vinny P, baby, or Pete Alonso, 2026.
Ooh, for just 2026.
Yep, just 2026.
That's tough. How old's Alonso? 32?
31, I would imagine. I'll look that up. But
he's 30. That's surprising.
Yeah. But again, in an opt-out potential contract, so he can leave New York, hit a home run tonight. So he's at 30 now. If you take him out of the New York lineup, does he have the same kind of success is really what you'd be playing on if you were to choose Vinny P over him.
I still have to go Pete just because Vinny's theoretical upside is higher, but it's just a theory. I got to rant on Vinny for a second just because, not a big rant, but like a mid-sized rant. So Vinny, who is he? He came up and he was this. We thought he was going to be this OBP guy, right? Maybe 20 home, more of a Freddie Freeman Jr., like a Freddie Freeman light kind of guy. Same with Kyle Manzardo. It's a really weird. Some of these guys have just their profile shifts once they get to the bigs. I guess they're like, I'm a first base. Maybe they're being told that. They're like, you're a first baseman. You have to hit for power. You can't just be whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's a philosophical thing. Maybe it's they're trying to go for the fences. But with Vinny, I mean, it looks like he's actually going to crack maybe 30 home runs this year. But with Pete Alonso, like that wouldn't be that big of a deal is what we expect with him, right? And so like he's done 50, which is crazy. Imagine your rookie season is a juice ball year in 2019. You crack 53 and you're like, I guess that's it. I peaked, because he may never get there again, but he could easily hit 40 again, and we wouldn't be that shocked. When like you can't say that about a lot of people. No one's saying Vinny's getting to 40 easily. They're like, oh, that's probably like that's a crazy high outcome for him. I got pushed back on saying he was a 25 to 30 home run bat earlier this year. But here's the weird thing. He's one of these guys, he came up late. I think he got his promotion in his age 25 season. He's the next, like he's basically Joseph Sullivan and Brock Wilken rolled into one. And so pause.
I'm giggling at you there.
No, but so Vinny, like it's weird though because we don't have a track record, and he's gotten hurt a bunch the last couple of years, right? So we're like, who is he? Who is Vinny? And so maybe he is like a 25 to 30 home run guy. But like we're not really seeing that he's going back to his roots of high OBP. So if he doesn't do the high OBP, he doesn't have like great ratios. Well, neither does Pete Alonso.
But Alonso's got a better BA. He's got a significantly better OBP, better slug.
This year. But I'm talking like in general. Like he's kind of what Vinny P's been doing, but with more power. That's why it has to be Alonso right now. If Vinny can find that spot where he's tapping into this power he's found, and then take some walks like he used to, money.
Yeah, I mean Alonso 2024, 240 average, 329 on base percentage, right? OPS at 788. That's more in line with like what Vinny is doing this year. Vinny's doing a little bit better this year, but I think what we've come to is like the middle of Alonso is Vinny's ceiling so far. What he's shown us
so far, it's so weird. Again, like he has such a small track record.
Yeah.
Whereas, but it's interesting because Pete's only 3 years older. Like that's weird, right? That's why baseball is a strange game. I'm not really super big on the ages. But it means something, but not everything. It's a fun game because there's so many ways of looking at the situations.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. All right, let's finish off the show today with a little minor league talk. We're in about an hour, so let's keep it to about 5 minutes here if we can. We got one of our boys, right? Callan Moss, been on the show before. Doing really well, right? 7 home runs in 92 games while he was in the Royals organization this year. Gets traded to Pittsburgh. We were excited for him, an opportunity. Right back at high A, so no level change. In 21 games, he has 6 home runs. Dude, his average in 21 games. Have you seen this? 398. With a 451 on base percentage, slugging 699. Dude, he's out of control. This is amazing. 19 strikeouts to 5 walks. So it looks like there's been an approach change or encouragement here in the profile. It's again only 21 games, but dude, Doc, this kid, he's ready for Double-A, is he not?
He is, and you said keep it to 5 minutes. So I'm gonna listen to you request for 5 minutes. I'm gonna go back and say one thing about Vinny P. Did you know how good his guess? This is really really quick. Guess Vinny P's like basically what he's been doing his whole career in the major leagues at zone contact.
91.8.
How do you know that? It's basically that. It's like 92, but whatever. And his contact rate's been like 83 or higher every time. It's what my eyes say, but yeah, it's interesting. I feel like
what's Pete's zone contact?
Not as good. I went away from this page, but it's like it's 84. Fine. But it's like mid to high 80s, but like a mid 70s or mid to high 70s contact. He's not as good of a hitter. So
he's not. Vinny's a better
and that's what it feels like, but the numbers aren't there. I think Vinny's best years, Vinny might have that classic like 29 to 32 peak. I feel like it just seems like he's coming in.
Right now, right? 27 to 32. Yeah. We've got that 5-year window where he's a top 5 to 7 first baseman. Mm-hmm. And whereas Alonso has always been the power guy. Like even as Savant shows you, the first 6 trackers are all super red and high like rank, whereas Vinny's like kind of all over the board. Great approach, right? Doesn't walk as much as he should because he's been more aggressive this year.
So I know you actually wanted to know about Kellen Moss.
First base. At least we're talking first base here.
I like to talk about Kellen Moss, and I like to talk to Kellen Moss. Sometimes I like to send him a text. So,
thinking about you.
He's so
55,
nice.
Thinking
He's
about
so nice.
you.
Everyone hears his number, 911. Just like, that's a bad joke. I should have given like the ice tip line. That would have been funnier. Everyone's like, well, it's not Kellen Moss. That's the ice tip line.
I still don't know the relevance, but we're going to bypass that failed joke.
It was a really bad joke. It was I'm incredibly sleepy. I've been up since 4 a.m. joke.
So Kellen Moss, 6 home runs, 21 games, 398 average, 451 on base percentage. Whoa.
So what are the numbers you have?
So I have 21 games, 6 home runs, batting average of 398 with a 451 on base percentage.
That's great. He's been even better. So I made a post on X and I sent it to Cal and I screenshotted it and sent it to him to make it easy. And that was in 19 games, 5 bombs, 387 batting average with a 439.
He's improving.
OVP. No, but literally he's hit another bomb and he's crushing more. And I was like, beast mode activated. Keep it up, big fella. And I said, because in the post I say, and this is now what I'm going to tell you people. This is I'm going to read it. This is a bat. You need to understand this. This is a bat that could be mashing behind Connor Griffin for many years to come. He is a mustache in dynasty leagues. And I just feel like I scream from the mountaintops. Like I can sit here and say, Connor Griffin's pretty good, and I'll get 1,000 reposts or whatever. The Kellen Moss tweet got some good traction for sure. But like, I just feel like nobody's listening. They don't want to believe in him. I don't know what it is. It's probably not sexy now that he's a Pirate. But you know what? I'm going to put this out here. This is a Kellen Moss quote. And he can get mad at me if I say it for releasing this here. We're an hour 6. This one's only for our loyal listeners who put up with my bad joke and didn't just turn off the podcast. He said, Connor Griffin is the truth. I remember we talked about him on the pod for a bit. And this is where he drops a crazy quote. He might be the best player to ever play this game. I couldn't even say
Way to hype his teammate. I love it.
And I was like, yeah, bro, like on our freaking Eric Cross episode, I had to say it. What is his ceiling? Are we scared to say it? Because we're talking about him being Bobby Witt Jr., but
no.
But we said, well, he looks like Bobby Witt Jr.'s profile, but he's a bigger human being. So, and then this actually is a crazy lead-in, and I know you have something to say here, but like Kellen Moss's role in this algorithm could be the Vinny Pasquantino to Bobby Witt's to Connor Griffin, right? He could be Connor Griffin's Vinny P. To BWJ has Vinny P. There's a lot of initials going on right now.
I think what's fun, and like I'm not afraid to be aggressive with especially Connor. I think both of them are better. I think that's
Connor, a crazy statement, bro.
I
say a lot of crazy things.
I put on X a month ago or whatever. Is Connor the closest thing in a prospect that we've seen to Mike Trout? Because I think that's the comp for Connor is Mike Trout prime, which was one of the greatest player primes we've ever seen. I'm not like backing down from that, and I'm not like pumping my chest, but that's my perception of Connor Griffin's potential. A 40-40 5 to 10 year stretch of absolutely the best player in baseball. Now, when you get into WAR and why Trout was hyped up, it's going to be very different. And I don't believe in WAR like other people do, but I think 40-40 is a lock. And I just don't think Bobby Witt year in, year out has the power potential that Connor Griffin will. And when we look at Kellen Moss, like I'm biased, you're biased. We like Kellen. We've had him on. Like there's going to be bias in our conversation. I think Kellen naturally has more power in his bat than Vinny does. We're going to have to see because these numbers are skewed, but the on-base percentage has been there for Kellen's entire career. We've talked to him about that. It's really what does the power look like as he starts to get into double and triple A.
Well, he started off at like he was brought on from the Appalachian League last year as a 20-year-old, but he was already 6'3", 225. He was a beast. And so it's like, what does that mean? He's not like probably not fully grown. Like he's going to put on some beer weight. Like he's going to probably sit around like I mean, it depends what he wants to do. He's 6'3". He's going to be 6'3", 240. Like, he could be, if he wants to keep hitting on muscle, he could be 6'3", 240 and, like, just jacked up.
Yep.
Like, it could be, it's not Frank the Tank build, but, like, it's pretty crazy build he could be working on here. And he seems to, so far in his Pittsburgh high A experience, he's given up on some of the walks. But
yeah, the aggressiveness is there. Yeah.
But this is it, right? We talked to him about this. I said, when it was a stupid question. I said, what? But we want to see more bombs, basically. You know, when do you think do you think that you have that in you? Was more or less what we were getting at. And he said, yeah, no, I'm crushing baseball. It's like, he's a really nice, humble kid, so well spoken. But he like kind of just nicely said, yeah, well, I'm crushing baseball, so they're gonna come. They're coming. I mean, after 7 home runs in 92 games with Kansas City at high A, he's got 6 home runs in 20 games. This is humongous. This is what Connor Griffin was doing, right? We're like, why isn't he not taking walks?
Well, I do.
But this is it. So why is Connor Griffin not taking walks? He's just ripping bombs. It's because I think the pitching is just getting too easy. He's seeing everything.
So
he needs a promotion.
That's what I was going to say, and I don't. This isn't meant to poo-poo our segment on Callen at all. It's just a generalization, and I brought this up last year. You hate that I brought it up, but it is a truth. At this time in the season, you do have promotions that happen that require additional promotions that don't always warrant the promotion. And I say that because if you have guys from high A, pitchers from high A going to double A who have earned their promotion, you have to have pitchers at high A still. There are naturally going to be pitchers from A ball brought up to high A to facilitate those roles. I don't have the game logs. I haven't looked into it. This could not be relevant for Callen's experience in production. But we do, as fans of the hobby, fantasy, and dynasty, need to be a little bit more mindful in the later portion of the seasons that hitters are going to be facing pitchers that may not deserve to be at that level. Again, that's just a generalization. Major leagues is different, can happen at times of injury, but I will be really interested to see if Callen continues this, and I would really love to see a double A promotion like right now.
Yeah, I'm just busy. I'm typing right now. I'm just texting my buddy Callen Moss. Matt Moore is my co-host. Doesn't believe in you. You want to start a new pod? We can call it Doc and Cal, or like I guess Cal and Doc, but it doesn't sound as good. I should be first. Send.
I love it. Anyway. I love it. He's just gonna hate my guts.
But yeah, no. It's completely fair. And that's a black screen, by the way. It's called it's a joke. You got to watch the podcast if you really like seeing our Matt and I's beautiful faces. And so,
but it goes into.
I don't want to let this slip by. In all serious talk, Callen Moss has more stolen bases this year than home runs.
Yeah, I mean,
and we talked to him about it. It's not an accident. He says he intentionally has increased his speed. He seems to want to run. This is like this. That's an interesting thing. Will it translate? I don't know. He's got 2 for 2 so far, with Pittsburgh. So we'll see. His on the year, not great, 16-5, but it seems like something he's just kind of trying out for the first time. I don't know who he wants to be or who he's gonna be, but that's fascinating. If he can do anything, like if he can be like let's say this, a Paul Goldschmidt, like, which is a crazy comp, but
okay, I need to ask you.
It gives you a 10 to 15 stolen bases every year. You don't even have to hit 30 home runs. Like, you're really interesting.
So Tyler Locklear, we were really excited about Locklear. An older guy coming out of college, so it doesn't have the same kind of timeline and experience that Callen has. Are you more excited about Callen than you would have been about Locklear?
It's unfortunate to see Locklear's not crushing it right now. This is a pretty good chance for him. It's not the end of the line for him, so sure. I don't want to condemn him. But prospect shine's a hell of a drug, and everything I'm saying is true. Like, his numbers are fantastic. He's currently – I guess I would just challenge anyone who opposes this statement. Who else is going to be hitting behind Connor Griffin right now? Who's in the pipeline?
Yeah. Florentino, but like different position, right?
Further back, got some development.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's my point, though. Is like
I think you want Connor leading leading off at or maybe hitting 2. Like I don't think you want him 3 or 4. He's
No,
too
you want
valuable.
Connor leading off, right? Like again, back to the Trout profile, like when Acuna with pre ACLs, like you put this freak athlete, this generational guy in a position to have the most at bats because he can also steal bases. And that would put Callen 3, 4, depending on what Pittsburgh does with their
You're good.
team.
You're
Yeah.
good.
Brian Reynolds goes to anyways.
If Florentino stays fast, he could be number 2.
Yeah, and
And
would
that's
probably come up
crazy if
a
Florentino keeps
year
stealing
after.
bases.
Yeah, I mean Pittsburgh could be a good team, and we're going to be rooting for them because we've got 2 of our guys.
Why did this have to happen once I moved away from Indianapolis Indians?
That's how it works. That's how it works. Okay, I got to speed us up here. We're dragging. I've got one more name. We are going to put the Joseph Sullivan conversation on the back burner. Psyched you guys out for another week at least. I want to talk about Sal Stewart, and we've talked about Sal over the last 2 years. Really got into him last year with the on base percentage. Wasn't showing much power. Really was just a guy that we were like, hey, there could be something here because of the approach if he develops a little bit more power. Where here we are, fast forward to 2025 in August, the power is really, really starting to show. Third base in general as a position is not as deep anymore in the prospect ranks. A lot of middle tier talent there that's kind of starting to push itself forward or needs more time for development. And Sal looks like a guy that should be at the top of that third base prospect rank or tier. Just isn't getting a lot of love in the industry. And I want to rip off for you some of the raw numbers here. And this is by a fantastic X account, which I now have to pull up. Prospect Savant. That's at Prospect Savant. Did a really cool Ellie 2023 AAA versus Sal Stewart 2025 AAA. And numbers are great. Average EV coming in at 92.9. That's elite. Max EV at 113.7. Pretty elite, unless you're Junior Caminero. 58 percentile EV at 94.7, 90th at 107, barreling 18.3% of the time, and his hard hit is 50.5% of the time. K rate super solid at 15.6. Walk rate has fallen a little bit as he's gotten a little more aggressive at 10.9% of the time. That's 54th percentile. Doc, I mean, Sal Stewart is looking really, really good. Why are people not buying in?
When I started at Prospects Live, they had a checklist. It said, do you want to work here? And I clicked yes. And it said, but do you like Sal Stewart? And I said, yeah, yes. And then they said, I don't know if it's going to work out. There's a lot of hate, a lot of internal hate. Ross Jensen loves him. Obviously, he's a pretty prominent guy in Prospects Live all of a sudden. A lot of the old guard. Listen, I don't think any of these guys are shy about it. So it's not like it's like a shame game. Like I'm unleashing secrets here. We have some Prospects Live guys who know a lot of ball. And they have some really great takes. But here's the nice thing about human beings: we are all full of weakness, and so we all are going to have them, and we're all going to have. I mean, listen, for me, my weaknesses aren't in fantasy baseball. So that every single thing I say about fantasy baseball is true. You got to be really suspicious about everything else that I do in my life. But Sal Stewart, I'm not even like the biggest Sal Stewart guy, but I don't know how you look at this profile and you're like, yeah, he's nothing. It's like, there's something. I mean, if you look at the StatCast, he's averaging 92.5 EV right now with a max of 113. Like that's like a really better outcome than I think a lot of people might have expected. His contact rates have always been solid. His zone seems pretty good at AAA right now.
What do you have on his zone?
Back of the baseball card stats are fantastic. It's like a 300, 400 profile in minor league baseball. I'm not sure if that fully translates, but this is probably a guy who goes 15 to. I think he's an Alec Burleson who steals a little bit. Like probably just he's probably Alec Burleson, but he's in Cincinnati, so it's a bandbox. So like maybe instead of like Alex 18 to 23 home runs, maybe you're looking at like the 20 to 25 home runs. Like maybe like 25 home runs happens a few times. I mean, at third base, if he can, maybe that's part of the question. Where does he play in the big leagues? But like, this is a valuable fantasy player because unlike Burleson, he actually takes a walk. So it seems like it's reeking. It's starting to become like a Maikel Garcia guy where, oh, well, he wasn't gonna be my guy, but I guess he is now. And like Hurston Waldrop, I have him everywhere. Listen, I'll inherit guys if I have to. Whenever someone hates a player enough, I'll take him on.
Yeah, it's just from the industry in general, right? From the prospect industry, I feel like Sal isn't getting the love he deserves, and he's done what we asked, which was, hey, you have a great OBP. At times, he was walking more than he was striking out on the year in the minor leagues. Give us a little more power, and we'll get a little more excited. And it's like, okay, well, here's the power, here's the EV uptick, right? And the excitement isn't there. So I just kind of want to lead this Sal Stewart revolution where it's time to get excited about this guy. But you mentioned a really key part, which is playing time. Brian Hayes was traded to the Reds. He isn't a long-term deal. He's a platinum gold glove winner at third base. That is Sal's position. So does he get moved to second base a little bit more? They've tested the waters there. Right? Does he end up being a guy that's like, hey, we need you to pick up the glove at first base so we can get your bat in the lineup? There is that question, but I think when you produce, life finds a way. Doc, that's really all I have for us today. We have run a little bit long. We'll save some of the other pieces like Sullivan for future episodes. Did you have anything else you want to chat about?
Well, I've been literally burping and like hiccuping in the microphone
I've noticed
for the last 5 minutes. Honestly, I intentionally like didn't stop myself because anyone who's listening to us at this point, they just love us.
Yes.
And more importantly, we love you.
5
listeners who are still here. Thank you so much for another great week. See, imagine if I did this all the time and I like got all like sappy and like long, and I didn't just say things like, your Huckleberry.
Catch you guys next week.